Miksi puhutaan suomea?
Opettakaa nyt se suomen puhuminen.
Toimii.
Sä puhut viettua. Kepas.
Miksi et ole 4?
Tuolla on 3 lisää. Se on mun kerran vieressä. Koska hei luokissa on
Serkku.
Russell? Moikka Linisä.
Puhuu suomea. Puhuu suomea, jee!
Se on meidän puhussa. Oli Risarkko on meidän puhussa. Olette siis mukana.
Niin, sekö?
Niin, sitten.
Mutta se on nuori puhussa.
Nuori.
Olette tammikuussa. Ja heinäkuussa, ei, mikä se on? Huhtikuussa. Huhtikuussa on Huhtanen.
Tai kova muille.
Kova muille. Kova muille. Muistatko sä
Varmas laulali. Mikä hauska? Koleinen sukunimi. Boske.
Ei Sauli, tuu näyttää vähän kameralle. Hymyillä kameralle.
Varo kameraa sitten.
Varo.
Se on sama ilme kuin eilen, kun mä koitin ottaa keksiä.
Se on mun reppu. Saat mut jos haluat.
Keksiä eikä.
Sä saat mut jos haluat. Kantti puserolla.
Sä kyllä jaksat kommentoida ihan kaikkea.
Se on ehkä huono, että sä istut tossa tietokoneen vieressä, kun kaikki nää äänet, mitä me puhutaan täällä kuuluu suoraan striimiin.
No onko siellä opettajia? Jos on opettajia, sit se vähän on.
Ei siellä ole.
Ei mistä ne kuunteletaan.
Joo,
Mistä ne oli
tää on
korvausta?
musta.
Ei, jättemärää!
En mä muista mitä mä olin kirjoittanut.
Anteeksi?
Joo. Yeah. Good. Open it. Avaa se.
Mä oon 3, että mä olin työpalvelu.
Onko pois sen?
Mä oon laittanut yhden päälle.
Toi ääni.
Niin. Joo, tässä kun
Ei se nyt haittaa, kun ei tää alkanut vielä.
Ei haitannut tässä vielä.
No miksi nyt? Sitä vaan se juttu, että me kaikki sen päälle valmiiksi.
Ilona, onko ollut pitkä päivä?
Se on ihan rikki.
Tää vaan kuulemaan kahteen kertaan silmällä näin.
Kato. Ootko mennyt tänne Toni myös?
No ootko ollenkaan tällä. Tiesit, että on näin mitään.
Päivä.
Sitä ei alku mun olo.
Hei.
Mitä sä teet sinne?
Kävin.
Oh my god, you fly?
Ei.
No,
Ei vielä.
pelisuun.
Eikä se lennä, vaan se on se kyydis.
I will fly them.
Selkeä se.
You will fly the plane.
I will fly them.
Oho.
Palaan.
Niinku rehellinen mielipide, niinku oh my god, yes. Rehellinen mielipide, siistiä.
Mitä sä sanot, jos mäkin menen nopeasti?
No siistiä.
Se ovat koulussa.
Mut varo, koska ne katsoo kyllä, jos on vähän ylipainoa, niin ei ne ota yhtä koska enemmän
Niin, kannattaa hei. 1 kilo vähentää tuossa matkatavarassa.
Niin.
Watch out by the camera.
Sorry.
Watch out for the camera.
Mä rakastan sua.
Just come closer.
You can go, but look out.
Yeah.
Onko se vierumäellä?
No niin.
Missä on? Malmin lenkki?
Pasila. On.
Ei edes tiedä Pasilainen.
Eikö niillä ole kunta juttu niin? Täällä on vaan Pasila ja Haapeli.
Ja Porvo tossa
Ja
kamerassa.
Porvoon kamerassa.
Mitä luulet?
Pasilalainen.
Kaikki.
Mikä toi on? Onks toi... Mikä? Onks toi mubba?
Mobba on tossa.
Niin, no niin, mä oon.
Mä hain globbaa, mut mä en päässyt.
Miksi?
No koska tää oli ekana. Ei se ollut siellä kyllä.
Okay, I think we have everybody here, so we can start to begin. So behind the camera, hello Porvo, welcome. I would just a quick notice that every time you whisper something to the next door neighbor of yours, the camera picks up the sound really weird, so they will hear you whispering, but not me in the front. So please don't be chatty with your friends during presentations. So my name is Ida. I am the vice chairperson of Helga's board. Very lovely to see you all here. And next to me we have Julia. Here is a mic for you. So you need to put it on first.
So, hello everybody, I'm Julia, also from Helga. I'm responsible for tutoring, mostly for the English-speaking tutors and for the exchange tutors as well. And very warm welcome to all of you.
I think Julia had a little game for you for the beginning, but I'll show you how the day will go on first. So, technical difficulties. Oh. What the heck? Uh-huh.
You need an IT person for that? You can ask for Matsku.
Now it's working. I don't know if it's working with this one. Yeah. So here's the program for today. We're a little late, but I'm a fast talker, so I think we'll catch up. First is the welcome, and then we go through the tutoring course, so how you get your credits and so what's on. After that, I'll talk to you a little more about Helga. After that, we have our advocacy specialist Nelly Bihlasvida, who's sitting in the front, talking about advocacy a bit. Then we have a short break. After the break, we'll have the Reps Council Chair Ville Toronen talking to you. And from our school, we have Susanna Malmi talking about MyNet. So you guys are a bit more better in using it and teaching the new students during the fall on how to use MyNet. Then we'll collect some feedback and we should be done by 5. On Monday when we did the Finnish speaking tutor first day, we got out a bit earlier, so we'll see how the day goes today. But now Julia will give you a little game.
Cool. I'll give you the instructions. I thought that there's gonna be written instructions there as well, so got a little confused by that. Anyways, do all of you have keys with you? Yes, keys, you know, those things that you can open the door. Home keys or work keys or however, probably looks like a big bunch of keys, the whole thing. Okay, everyone found keys? Good. Take a partner next to you, the person who is closest to you. I hope we can have 2 to 2 partners. Okay. Hey, good job. That was easy. And now, take your turn. Tell about the keys. How does it describe you? and where can you go with the keys, and other extra stuff you want to share with the neighbor. Feel free, you may start.
Ruumiin saa ottaa. Ei kyllä se saa sitä. Vittu koottarissa. Jälkeen. Tätä kyllä aina. Niin sillä. Sillä on avaa.
Okay, are we about done? I think we start to be done with the key. Cool. Now you'll know whose keys to steal if you want to get somewhere nice. No, kidding. So now the next speech that I'm having, not a speech. But I'm gonna tell you about the credits that you might want to get from tutoring. This is actually our specialist Thea's presentation, but she needed to take a phone call, so I'm sorry if I tackle in my words during this. That's the one with the red hair, and she'll be with us a lot during your tutoring time. But yeah, let's get started. Tutoring in Haga Helia. The first two dots on it, they don't touch you as much because this already happened, but the course description did already change during the winter. The change mainly considered the codes and whatever, but you'll find basically, because you're sitting here, you're already on the course, so if you want to get credits of it, you're already enrolled, so you don't have to enroll again through Mynet. During this course, as you can read, you will improve your organizational and presentational skills, which I should probably too. And the assessment is you either pass or not, so you don't get like any grading from 1 to 5 of it. Yes. Then peer tutors are credited or admitted 3 credits a year. So for 1 credit you need 30 hours of work for 27. Nelly corrected me. So 3 credits you need around 83 hours of work. 81. Sorry, but here's a listing about pretty much what you'll get from the training. You get around 30. From tutor starts around 3. Then the orientation week, depending on your degree program, you get 8 or 15. Vierumäki recreation day that happens every fall is about 8 hours. Then the freshers party, circa 10. Tutor fresher discussions, if your degree program has those, we do hope that you have. They're around 4 to 8 hours. Then entrance examinations that Haga already Hodum had today, 4 to 8 hours, and the list goes on and on, like so. Tomorrow you'll get the Sauli.
A question about their those hours from today. Will they get them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is part of your training. It goes to the 30 hours you'll get from the tutor training. So when tomorrow you get the passes, your head tutor is already allowed to sign it and put some hours in it.
I mean the entrance exam.
The entrance exam?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they were helping today.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yes.
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
you weren't. Shut up.
Yeah.
Four of us.
You're on the English side. You can finish that.
Yeah, the rule pretty much go every time you do anything regarding tutoring, if there's no alcohol consumed, then you'll get hours from it. But like for example, the freshers party, it's about 10 hours because once you open your first bottle of beer, no more tutoring hours for you. That is the rule.
Question.
Yeah?
So for those degree programs that have 2 intakes, it could be 5, right?
Yeah. If the degree programs takes new students in the fall and in the spring, the number is 5 credits a year. So it depends on how many times you get new students in. Yeah. Tutors we only pick once a year. So in the tutor pass that you will get tomorrow, you write down everything you do as a tutor. That eases your report once you write it, because you do need to write a report if you want to get the credits, and that will prove to the next head tutor your activity for admitting the report. All the marks in the pass are signed by the head tutor, or if the head tutor is not available, either Julia or Johanna, who are responsible for tutoring in Helga, but most of the time it's way more easier if your head tutor does it, because Julia and Johanna obviously can't know everything you've done. You guys are responsible yourself for filling in the pass and getting it signed on time. The head tutors are not obliged to sign marks months away. If the pass gets lost, you'll get a new one from Helga. So it's like this really small. I have the finished ones here. I can show it really quick. It's like this. It's not very up to date. I mean, it could be digital. We're trying to work on it for the future, but that thing gets lost really easy. But it doesn't matter. You'll get a new one if it gets lost, and your head tutor will assign the hours afterwards as well. If you had like the whole pass full, they'll sign it for you anyways, if they want to. Then the tutor report, which has to be done to get the credits. The easiest way to do it is writing it immediately once you're done with tutoring. The report has to include the hours from the tutor pass and like this small analyze text from what you learned. We don't want to like a 6-page essay, but like answering with 2 words is a bit too little as well. The report form is available to be downloaded from the Helga website. Yep. And because Helga doesn't really accept your credits, we only like check that it's all okay. And Dea is our specialist, is the one who checks the reports and everything, and she'll send the mail to the academic advisor of yours, and she'll put the credits, or he puts the credits into MyNet. So it has to go this way. I know it's a bit difficult and a long process, but that's how it goes. Any questions about it? Then I know that most of you guys are not doing it for the credits, but we already know it. We are allowed to give out 800 credits a year. At the moment, we only give less than 200. So there's a lot of credits we could be giving out, but we are not. Credits are great, yeah. It looks good on your transcript of records, and it takes you closer to the 55 credits you need to do a year, so that Helga gets more money out of you, pretty much. And Helga gets feedback from your report. So once you do the report, we'll know how to make tutoring better for the next tutors. And as I said already, we're trying to find a way to make it more efficient and easier to do to get the credits, but it's not that much of a job. I mean, you'll get credits for much harder during your school time than this. Yeah. And here's just like a TLDR of what I just said. Yeah. Now it's my own thing. I should know more of what I'm saying now. I'm really sorry about this. I mean, I haven't been a tutor myself, so I'm just like ahead of it, which is funny, but I know. Yeah, so Helga, sanctuary for the individual and community for the students. That's like our motto. And like I said earlier, my name is Ida Tervo. I'm the vice chair of the executive board at Helga. It goes again. Helga is, the purpose of it is written in the law. We exist because of our UAS exists. So every single university in Finland has to have a student union. That's written in the law, but that's like not the main focus of us. We want to be the community. We want to be the sanctuary. So that's just like the written in the law, and that's pretty much what we always say, because that's what we are. But we work to improve the conditions for all of Haga students. Our actions are guided in the law, in its acts. Then we obviously have rules and a strategy that are regulated by the members who pick the representative council, and then the representative council makes the biggest decisions of like everything, and then the board works according to the decisions. Helga is operated by the executive board, the employees, the student representatives, the council, and obviously you guys, the tutors. We have 3 different teams within the board. We have the services and events, which is shortened in PATA. Then we have the advocacy team, which has the short name of EVA, and then the support team, which is TUTI. The PATA team is led by me. Services and events, there within that goes tutoring all of the events that Helga makes. Then advocacy is pretty much everything that Helga does. That is run or guided by the chair of the board, Sami Rantaho, and then the Tuki team or support team is guided by Jani Mäntäsaari, who is the executive director of Helga. Tutoring is categorized in PATA, but it's pretty much the biggest or mostly seen advocacy work that Helga does. So you're pretty much the most important thing about Helga. Here we have our lovely organization written open. So Hagahelga has around 11,000 students. Of it we have 4,000 members. They choose the Reps Council, which is around 40 people. The Reps Council chooses the executive board and the student representatives and different, how is it called? Advisory boards and other things within the school. So Hagahelga has a board as well, and there's one student representative that was chosen by the Reps Council. Then they choose us, which means they choose who's in PATA team, the services and events, who's in advocacy, and then the board chooses the staff, so who works for us. And the support team has this lovely little skinny piece here, because that pretty much does everything. And here are you guys. Very important. So, sanctuary for the individual, that is part of our motto. The UAS Law Act 41 says, the student union's purpose is to act as its members' link and improve their social and mental aspirations, as well as their aspirations for studying and their position as students. That's basically what we do. And maybe easily understood is our interest is to be a group for all of Hagahelga students. And how we do that, we promote students' interest on both sides within the school and outside of it. So there's a lot of advocacy work that we do inside of the school, which Nelly will talk more about, and outside of it, so on a national level to be said. But Nelly has like a whole presentation of that. Then the other part of our motto, community for the students. Like what I already said, that our function is written in the law, that we have to be a part of the school, but we strive to be the community. It's not like any of us on the board are on the board because the law says so. We want to be a part of the community, and we want to do it better. And that's what we really hope that you guys feel as well, because I'm a part of Helga, but so are you. And we want to be known for more than just the coverall parties. I mean, we have student associations, and many of them, and we don't want to be like mixed into those. Like examples that we do more than parties are our club activities. We have the esports club, and then a Club Tupa, which is kind of like this nerdy club. You watch movies and play games. It's super fun. And then we have Spexy, who has their opening night today. Yeah. Then important stuff for you guys. Internationality. We have 2 international work groups under Helga. IDS Helga, which is for the international students. Then ESN Helga for exchange students. You guys will be working a lot with IDS in the future, or already are. Yeah, I was very fast. Now, next up we have Nelly Piklasviita, our advocacy specialist.
Hi guys. First I want to say if I lose my voice or start coughing, it's because I have bad allergies, and that's why I have my soda with me. I'm sorry. So, the start of my presentation, advocacy, yay! I'm probably the only one here who thinks advocacy is the best thing in the world, and advocacy for UAS student is the best thing in the world, but now you have to listen me for 45 minutes, so I'm sorry. Well, who am I? Nelly Piklasviita. I've been a specialist in Helga since November last year. My education, I'm a midwife, I'm a nurse from Metropolia, from next door almost, and I have a lots of background from different organizations, associations, and for example Metka Sport, and also political background, but yeah, and I started as a tutor as well, years ago, though. Well, first I'm gonna, well, Ida actually said it all about the UAS Act and the UAS law, but maybe the bolded stuff is the thing that we do in the advocacy field. So we want you and all of our students to be active members of the society. Well, as I said, there is the UAS Act and the Association Act, and now I don't know how to say this, Administrative Procedure Act, which guides our, I'm losing all the words. Well, it guides Helga, what we need to do. Helga has its own documents as well. The political program, the political agenda on municipal level, and the strategy. And we are actually working on a new strategy right now, so it probably will change a bit. And then the Reps Council have the highest power of Helga, and the board has the executive power, so they actually does all the things that the Reps Council tells them to. At least they should. And Helga has also 4 employees, Jani, the executive director, and 3 specialists, me, Thea, and then there is Paula, who you won't see now. Well, what kind of advocacy Helga actually does? You can put advocacy in 3 different sectors. We have social politics, educational politics, and I'm sorry, we swear a lot in our job. Municipal, do I say it like that? There should be English speaking, yeah, politics, yeah. So, and well, they are not so clear. For example, social politics and municipal politics go quite hand in hand in many things. We have different levels where we do our advocacy work. For example, national level with SAMOK, which is a like roof organization if you translate it, yeah. And OLL, which is like students sport organization. And in regional level, we mainly work through WSC, which is World Student Capital. I'll be talking that more. And of course, in a local level, inside Haaga-Helia, and in 3 UAS cooperation, which means inside Haaga-Helia, Laura and Metropolia. And of course, if you guys have heard about OPCO Plus, it means the student unions. So, well, started with 6 student unions in the Helsinki region, but now has more members in it. And beside all of that influencing work, we have all kinds of services for our students, advocacy services, well, other services as well, but they are not my field. We provide help in problem situation for every student. You don't have to be a member. We help you anyway. Well, you all should be members. We have the What's Wrong form. You can fill it without telling your name or any of your information, or you can leave your name and email and you will be contacted if you want it. And we also have those harassment contact persons, which I'll be talking more later. And well, we also have our own study module. So if you are, for example, in a student association or want to do some kind of other activity, student activity things in your time in Haaga-Helia, it is possible to get credits for that too. But like Ida said before, tutors are our most important thing in advocacy work. Well, for you to be able to help the freshers, you need to know a bit about services in Haaga-Helia. So now I've been telling you about them a bit. The healthcare for UA students is organized through multiple providers. So that's mean if you study in Helsinki, the city of Helsinki provides your healthcare. But there is a public healthcare nurse, aka terkkari in Finnish, terveydenhoitaja, in every campus, or nearby every campus. But there should be someone to see you if you need help. The appointments are free of charge, and if you wanna have an appointment, you can either go there or call the nurse beforehand or send an email, but you can see all the information about these on my net. It is also possible to see a doctor, but there is some differences how to see the doctor considering where you study, but it's normally through the municipal services, yes.
A question about the nurse. So do they also appoint dental care?
No.
So do we have any kind of field where you contact regarding dental care for the school side?
No, not actually. It's almost the same situation as it is with the doctors. You can just contact your own health care center. Yeah. But as you can see, there in the down of this page, have you guys heard about UTHS?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be a reaction. But yeah, from 2021, also UAS students will be under Finnish Student Health Services, which now are for the university students, and there will be dental care as well, and easier access to a doctor's appointment, and maybe a bit better mental health services. So that is actually a big thing that this change is gonna happen, and you should all be very happy about it if you are still studying in 21. Oh, and the psychiatric nurse. Well, the nurses in Helsinki, either in Mäkelininkatu or in Pasila campus, there are 2 nurses, but the appointments must be booked beforehand. Also, there are other well-being services, for example, study psychologists. Mm, the study psychologist helps you with problems in studying, mostly. There is also university chaplains. They are all really nice. So they provide confidential conversation, and you don't have to be a part of any church or Christian or anything. They are nice. You can call them anytime. And also, Hakahalia has special needs services for students with, for example, learning difficulties. So if you have, for example, dyslexia or something, you should contact the special needs services. And other services. I'm sorry. Hakahalia has study advisor. Every student should have a named study advisor. I'm not sure, well, in some campuses you say study counselor or something like that, what's it? Opinto-ohjaaja in Finnish. And the counseling is every student's right, it's written in the law, so if you are not getting it, be angry, because you should. There is also student services, they are in every campus. There is, well, from student services you can get different kind of certificates, for example, discounts. And yeah, and then Hakahalia has career and recruitment services, international services, library and information services, IT services, and admission services, as you can see. And all these you can find from Minet and what kind of services they actually provide. Well, about student income. Every student who have the well, if you're a full-time student and you have progress in your studies, you are qualified to get aid for students. The financial aid is 250 euros per month, and it also makes you able to get the student loan, which is 650 euros per month. This is probably quite usual things for you guys. Students are also, yeah.
Basically not for all students, as I understood, because only for those who has Kela card, meaning that if like they are not EU citizen,
Yeah.
citizens, they have to have like working residence permit, for instance, because there are a lot of students outside of European Union and they cannot get any financial aid or any other support.
Yeah, that is actually true. You have to be part of Finnish social security system. Yeah, I'm sorry, not all students. Actually, I have in some other slide that there is actually quite a lot of acceptations on these things, but usually the people who are in the group that won't get these knows it already. But if you're Finnish or from EU area, you should be able to get these. And yeah, then there is the housing supplement and the rent in your hometown, and the people who you are maybe living with affect the amount that you will get. And then there is this basic income, toimeentulotuki in Finnish, which is possible to get also when you are a student, but it's the final form of help.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
The housing supplement info, that's outdated. It's actually, it's a little more. It's like around 500. That might want to be updated.
It depends on where you live, like in Vantaa, that's what I get.
Yeah, Vantaa, Espoo region, that's like 500.
Yeah,
like
that's...
the maximum in Helsinki is a little higher.
But
that's probably the whole.
No, its maximum is 500.
I mean, if the price goes up in 300 euros, that would cover.
No, there's some kind of like 80%.
Alright.
Yeah, but there is the limited 580 euros, and it's 80% of that. I actually checked this like 4 weeks ago.
It's like
it might be higher than this, but yeah. Tsekkaapas tää sieltä Kelan sivulta. Yeah, but for example, in Helsinki, you get the higher 8 than you get in Espoo and Vantaa. And the rest of Finland, it's a bit lower, except in Turku and Tampere. Yeah, they are gonna check the actual amount of the housing supplement for us, but we can maybe move forward. But yeah, then how does Helga influence on those things? Inside school we have somebody in whole kind of different groups. For example, student well-being group. Well, normally it's me sitting there, and they are fun. And there is actually a lot of people. And municipal influencing, we do it through WSC, I'll be talking about that later, and national influencing through SAMOC, I'll be talking about it later too. And then we have student representatives, for example, in HOAS. Do you know what HOAS is? I don't know if you are, like, how long living in Finland? Yeah. Okay, well, I move forward. Well, so VSC, Pääkaupunkiseudun opiskelijat ry, also known as World Student Capital. It's all started back in 2010 when Helsinki was chosen to be the World Design Capital for the year 2012. And then the students of the Helsinki region decided that, hey, we should have our own project to make Helsinki the best city for students as well, not only design capital. And last year we decided to make the network to association, and it started function in the beginning of this year. And in this association there is every student union from Helsinki region represented. So the association itself represents about 100,000 students in, there is a grammar mistake, in Helsinki region. And the goal nowadays is to make Helsinki region the best city for the students. So there will be good housing, good services, good public transportation. Yeah. And the association is in cooperation with all the cities in Helsinki region, university and UASs, HSL, HOAS, and all kind of different specialists. The association is doing this research this year, which will be published in December. Yeah. Yeah. And then about SAMOC. Suomen opiskelijakuntien liitto SAMOC ry. It was founded back in 1996 when they started, when the UAS system started. And it's a National Advocacy and Service Association, and its member is 25 student unions of Finland. So I have an answer. It's 80% from 516 euros in Helsinki. Does somebody have a calculator?
The deal's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is the 1,400 euros. That is the most in the normal housing aid. But yeah, SAMOC is so this big organization above us, and it has a General Assembly every year, and the General Assembly chooses the board of SAMOC. And yeah, well, the same system as we have. Some of this in cooperation, for example, with ministries, for example, the Ministry of Education, and different kind of labor market organizations. SAMOC also provides event services and guidance for its member student unions. So, okay, I need to read my own slides. So, how is it possible to do influencing inside Hagalia? Well, Helga, in close contact. Yes, yes. I'm sorry. It is a lot of mistake, even though I tried to read this through today. Yeah. Well, yeah. Helga is in close contact with Hagahelia's management, so we have a meetings, for example, with Kokko quite often. And there is also representative in different groups, including those student well-being groups, but also, for example, final project groups and student counseling groups and all kind of that. And then, well, Ida talked about these a bit, but there is actually a mistake in the photo that Ida showed you. Nowadays there are only 3 advisory boards, not like 8 or 7. But you can see all the places where we have student representative inside Hagahelia here, and the Reps Council choose these representatives. So, how you guys can influence inside, do some influencing inside Hagahelia? The one and only most important thing is the study module feedback. It might feel it doesn't do anything, but please, please, please give feedback on every study module you take, or every course you take. It might feel that only the teacher sees the feedback and the teacher is just gonna read it and not do nothing. But actually it goes to the teacher's superior, and to the laatupäällikkö, which I didn't know in English. Quality is something.
Boss? No, I don't know.
I don't know either. I tried to get in English from our website, but I have no idea. It's like quality chief or something. I don't know. But yeah, all of those people can see the feedback, so please give it. It's the only way the courses will get better. Also, there is the student questionnaire every year. Well, now on it's going to be every other year, and the same laatupäällikkö is in charge of it, and it also influences Hagahelia's funding, so please answer to it also. Then there is AVAP, which is in Finnish ammattikorkeakoulujen valmistumisvaiheen opiskelijapalautekysely. The most awful name ever. It's everybody who's gonna graduate needs to answer this. You cannot graduate unless you have answered AVAP. And then there is this alumni questionnaire, which you will get 2 years after graduation, and the career questionnaire, which you're gonna answer 5 years after graduation. Well, I'm sorry, I need to drink. So, every student has some rights and some responsibilities. The UAS Act is the highest law in UAS, and it says, well, these things. The education should be public and free. There are some exceptions for the free part, and the UAS must organize the studies in a way that if you study full time, it is possible to graduate in the given time. The UAS Act also tells the structure of degrees and the workload. The workload means that the one credit is 27 hours of work about. The Act also says that every student needs to do the enrollment for attendance, and also about the grading and the recognition of prior learning, and if you are unhappy with your grading, what to do. So, Haaga-Helia has its own degree regulations. There are more specific regulations about, well, maybe the UAS Act. Well, let's start the first thing. I have quite a lot of here, so ask if you don't want to hear about it, or if you want to move on, well, don't ask, tell. The degree regulations regulate the degrees. It tells what degrees you can study inside Haaga-Helia, and that every degree is 210 credits, except the Bachelor of Media, and the Master degree is 90 credits. It also tells you how to do the enrollment for courses. There will be new regulation from next fall. Well, actually, for the courses starting in next fall. You need to do your personal study plan, PSP, and send it to your student counselor, and the student counselor needs to approve it. There will be the first round and the second round, as it have been for a while, and then you need to do the confirmation of your enrollment for the course by showing up for the first lecture. And then there is in the degree regulations this thing about course completion and assessment, and this is maybe the most important thing. I get quite a lot of emails from students saying that they didn't get a grade from some course. And when I started looking up to it, I found out that they haven't done all the assignments of the course. So please do what the teacher tells you to do. Otherwise, they don't need to pass you. So, Haaga-Helia use grading scale from 0 to 5. It is also possible to get, what are those in English? Completed as a S, suoritettu, approved, hyväksytty H, or adjusted, mukautettu M. The adjusted is quite rare, you don't see them a lot. But if you complete a course, it's impossible to get it out from your student transcript. So, yeah. Do only the courses you wanna put in there. And well, there is also an important thing. You must get a grade within 3 weeks from the end of every course, and in the spring semester within 2 weeks. But this 2 or 3 weeks does not include that time if a teacher is on a holiday. And you might want to resit failed or pass course sometime if you get a bad grade. You can do it twice. If you do the enrollment for a re-examination and don't show up, that is one time. And you can only do the research for like exams. You cannot do it for project work at all. And the highest grade you'll get is the one who stays. And it is possible if you have prior studies from a Finnish university or UAS, it is possible to do the credit transfer and accreditation for those. And also from prior work experience or work placements, it is possible to include those you're decreed. So, the next thing is the registration as an attending or non-attending student. This comes from the law, the UAS Act. So you have to do it by the latest of May 31st. And if you are non-attending, you have to do it twice a year, so the same day and in December 15th. If you don't do it in time, you have to pay 50 euros, so do it on time. And about work placement, in every degree there should be at least one placement or two, but the placement should be 30 credits. And every degree program has its own guidelines for the work placements. And about the final project, passing grades can be improved. So you cannot do the resit or anything for those. But there are ways, if you are unhappy with your grade, to improve it, but you cannot do it again. So, more about degree regulations. Yay! The degree regulations tells about duration of studies. If your degree takes 3.5 years, you have 4.5 years time to do it or finish it. It is also possible to apply extension. If you apply it, it costs 50 euros again. And then maybe the most important thing, if you are unhappy with the grade you get from a teacher, you can request a reassessment from the teacher who has graded you, and you have to do it within 14 days. You can ask it verbally or in writing. Do it in writing, pro tip, and the student needs to answer you and tell you how he or she has graded you. If you are still unhappy, you can appeal in writing to the examination board within another 14 days of receiving the decision. And examination board is well, also written in the law that it has to exist, and they will handle the situation and check if the grade should be something else that the teacher is saying it is. And if you want to do this application, you need to give it to the director of your education unit. So, last thing on this. So, well, I really don't know why there should be a thing like this in degree regulation, but it is. So, personal conduct at Helga. Students must behave appropriately in all UAS learning environments. So basically it means no alcohol or drugs inside school and no cheating or plagiarism. Don't do it, kids. Bad for you. And Helga also has this equality and non-discrimination plan, which is basically made because law says you need to do it. It's not good, but you can find it in a minute. So, and about, well, maybe about those things. Helga has 3 harassment contact persons. Does anyone know what harassment contact person does? Hyvä, Iida tietää. In Finnish, häirintäyhdyshenkilö. Yeah. Well, basically, if you see or take part in any kind of harassment situation, or there is discrimination or something, somebody is teasing someone or I don't know, anything, you can contact the harassment contact person. There is 3 in Helga, as I said, me, Thea, and Jani, and you can contact us via email, which is super easy if you don't speak Finnish. We probably should have 2 email addresses, one in English too. Hairen.Henkilä at helga.fi. Well, if that feels hard, we also have the what's wrong form, and you can always send your problems also through that. I get those messages through the form, and I will answer. Helga also have this Edvartti. Edvartti is Helga's like open advocacy network. Anyone can join. It doesn't require anything. Edvartti includes 2 things: the Facebook group called Edvartti #opiskelijaturvana by Helga. You can join now if you want. And and we also have events in every quarter, and the 3rd one in every year, so the first one of the fall is in English. So if you don't speak Finnish, you're still able to participate at least one every year. And as I said, it's open to everybody, and we hope that the tutors will join as well, since you are the one who are with the students all the time. So, maybe the most important thing from, well, Helga's advocacy point of view, how a tutor does advocacy. Well, if you have a fresher who has a problem, you need to listen, ask, and inform. Then the same thing, help, advise, guide, same thing 3 times, different word, yeah. And intervene if needed. Always if you need help, you can contact your... Mikä on noinen... Head tutor, yeah. Or Thea or somebody from Helga, we will help you. But yeah, as I said, every student has some rights and responsibility, and they are linked to each other. Since we are all adults, you have to take responsibility of yourself as well. Although support is always available. Now, if you have any questions or comments, yeah.
Regarding the what's wrong, do you forward the issues to, for example, the academic advisors or to the degree program directors?
Not directly.
Okay.
Normally, if I get a message, I first answer to the student if the student has required me to answer. And I say, hey, I read this email, how do you want us to move forward? And if the student wants, I will contact, for example, the head of degree program or the student advisor or somebody. Yeah. Yep.
Did I understand correctly that we need to keep on a piece of paper like the hours that we spend on tutoring?
Yeah. Not my field. Something else? Or something else? No. So, if you want to contact us, if you want to contact the whole advocacy team, which includes me, our chair of the board, Sami, and 3 of our board members, you can use the Eva at helga.fi. And if you want to send email only for me, you can use my personal email address. Also, the what's wrong form comes to me, and it's always possible to just drop by the office. We are all there. What?
Yeah, just as a side note, because the Eva word is kind of difficult to remember, especially if you're English speaking. The advocacy at helga.fi does come through the same people as well. So it's advocacy at Helga. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. So in the future, tomorrow, you shall have an email address called harassmentperson@helga.fi. är som en contact person. Oopsista. Okay, thank you, Nelly. Then Julia.
Yeah, hi again. Since we received some extra time, I'll give you another fun task to do. So the point is, we are supposed to use papers, but I just figured that let's save the nature and not use the papers, so we'll do it by talking. And you need a pair again, maybe other one, different one that you had earlier, just to get know to each other better. The point is that you are supposed to talk with your pair. Why did you apply to be a tutor? And what do you expect of tutoring? Feel free. Why did you apply to be a tutor? And also, what are you expecting to happen when you are a tutor?
Because we had, there was like a, even amount of us, but now you're leaving, and now it's and now you know each other. You have to get a new one.
Mutta niillä on ihan sikamonta.
Moni ei päässyt.
Aavit tarjoilee. Nyt tää huutelee. Niin juu, sä vois vielä enemmän huutelee.
Joskus se ensi viikolla.
Mä voin olla sedessä. Jos sä oot siinä mä oon sedessä. Samanlainen se mutta miksi? Ei yhdet tytöt, vaan niitä saa. Ne tehdään tuolla. Onko vähän lisää?
Are we ready?
Nope. Here we are.
You are? Good. So, next in the schedule is a break. So, who wants some coffee? Yeah, I do. Good. There are a few instructions. One instruction for the break. The point during the break is to get to know people even more and discuss. There are few questions you are supposed to discuss about. So, who you are, where do you come from, what do you study, and what's your spirit animal? So yeah, feel free to...
I forgot to write it down, but the point is to meet two people who you don't know yet. Sorry, two people.
Do they have to do
Probably, yeah. Anyways, feel free to get some coffee and mingle around. We'll start in 15:45. Please be back by then. I will put them there.
Hi, my name is...
Sauli, näytätkö tuolla syöpä? Jumalauta, tuossa kuvassa. Ei saa kyllä olla syöpä. What's the hurry in the ready world?
Se on niin pitkällä.
Copy. My product.
Sorry, anteeksi. Totta. Ei mitkä nyt on. Mä etsin sun. Okei.
Kato, mihin muuten oli.
Mä luulen, että ne on
Onks tää kiljavalta?
noin.
Mä luulen, että oli pidennykset. Mitäs vittua?
Ne oli ihan mun omat. Ei mitä helvettiä.
Onks tää kiljavalta ystävä?
On se on kiljavalta.
Aika siistiä. Kato Sissikin siellä.
Sissi siinä eturivissä. Siinä on noin lyhyet tytöt siinä eturivissä. Pitkät pojat tuolla takarivissä.
Mitäs Sissille kuuluu?
Suusalmalle siellä tällä hetkellä. No on oikeastaan kyllä vähän. Ei mun muita frendejä ollut.
Mitäs Lübeck? Missä se on?
Se on Kiinassa.
Miksi se on Kiinassa? Miksi?
No vittu. Miksi ihmiset menee vaihtoon?
No niinpä niin.
Voiko miksi mun täällä?
Saaks mä takas?
Miksi mun täällä?
Miksi?
No mulla kyllä.
Niin. Sä oot niin.
Se on... Mitä? Onks mä homo nyt? Okei. No, ei mut. Sauli, sä oot pudottanut painoa, onneksi olkoon.
En oo kyllä pudottanut.
No ootpas vitus.
No en oo kun kuule lihmuttanut kuvaa.
Hetkä on. No mitä vittu, tossa näytät ihan lihmun läsken.
No niin. Eli kun mä oon siinä ihan vittu. Mä oon siinä asentoon tiiäksä, että mun ihan vitun outoa.
Mä heitän läppää vaan.
Just perseelin sinne.
Meillä on oikeesti.
Mä ajattelin, että sä annat puhua mulle.
Ei, hän on mut niinku oikeesti rehellisesti mielessä. Kovin ei.
Mä en ehkä ollut vaihtaa.
we starting to be ready to continue?
I think you have great.
No niin, menpäs vittuun.
Hey, you can be Antti for a
Mitä
day.
sä nyt huutelet siinä, poika? Kaikki kuuluu Porvoon.
Ne puhuu vaan ruotsia, bro.
Joo, niin, just niin. Okei, voitte taitakin vähän nyt miettiä niitä tutorivalintoja. Onnistuuks Iida sellainen? Onnistuuks tutorivalintojen miettiminen uudestaan? Onnistuuks tutorivalintojen miettiminen uudestaan vielä? Niin. Ei täällä mitään tapahdu vielä. Nyt se suuttuu.
Mä en ollut Liettuassa nimeä Konkonen, ne on
Definitely. Not a morning person. You might kind of be able to tell from how much coffee I drink.
Ja Vili, bro, kuka istui tässä?
Veli haipaa. Ilona meni.
I'll be here, so here's Nemo.
Saul.
Okay, everybody in place. We can begin. Sit down. Sit down. Okay, so next up, together with me, we have Ville Touronen, the Reps Council Chair, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Representative Council and its affection into the community. And Ville has a lovely slide about himself.
Yeah, thank you, Ida. Yeah, I'm the chairperson of the Representative Council, but before that, I was I am a tutor also. I started last fall, and I'm continuing my tutorship, or how do you say it, next fall also. Spring, I don't know yet. Tutoring was fun, perhaps too fun, because I started to like the how is the active people.
Yeah, the active field
Yeah,
of the school.
I started to like the active field so much that I applied to the Atkins board and got a place in it, and I ran to the representative councils elections, and I was also elected there, and
without competition, he got the place of Helga's chairperson.
Yeah. For addition about talking about the representative council, I will be also speaking about the grouping, because my experience in the tutoring. Yeah. Next slide, guys. So you have seen this picture already today.
Yeah, I talked a little bit more about this side of things.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna talk about this side.
Yeah. So the representative council is above the board. It
Well, basically, every single decision that the board makes, we have to make sure that the Reps Council is behind it, and the Reps Council decides on the strategy and then not the operational, but basically like the decision making. Everything that we do daily is the decisions are made by the board, but the bigger decisions are made by the council. For example, like our money things or whatever.
Yeah, thanks. And the representative council also chooses the student representatives, sorry. And above us is the members of the Helga Student Union, and also all the students. Yeah, next. So, the representative council consists of 20 full members and 20 reserve members. The representative council is elected by the members of the student union, and every member of the student union is entitled to stand as a member also of the representative council. The Reps Council elections are held annually in November, and the Central Election Commission elects
runs the elections.
Yeah, it runs the elections, and the Central Election Commission is elected by the Reps Council. So.
So basically, during the fall time, you will see a lot of posters with this sized head pictures of a lot of different people, probably a few of you guys as well. And every single member of Helga is allowed to vote, and that vote is entitled to vote when the Reps Council is chosen, and the Reps Council is then chosen, and that council will choose the board for the next year.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. And as you see, the Reps Council uses the supreme decision-making power of the student union. So.
Basically, you're the supreme leader.
Yeah. If you're interested in the Reps Council, the next meeting of the Reps Council is April 17th. Yeah, and it's the spring meeting. And the mandate of the Reps Council is a 1 calendar year, so it starts from the new year and ends in the new year. So, next slide. So, what does the Reps Council do? It elects the members of the executive board of Helga, and also it elects me, my job, and also the chairperson and the vice chairperson of the Reps Council. It guides and supervises the acts of the executive board. It confirms the previous year's annual report and accounts. It elects the student representatives to various posts, as I mentioned earlier in the organization chart. It determines the level of the membership fee, and it confirms the next year's plan of operation and budget. And lastly, but not least, it decides over the strategy and the other guidelines of the student union. This year we are renewing our strategy.
So pretty much to put it a bit clearer, it's if I do something that Ville doesn't like, he comes to me like, Ida, try again. And every single penny of money that we use, the Reps Council knows what we're doing. We need to report it to them as a board. And yeah, like he already said, the membership fee that is now 52 euros a year, as you all know because you have the membership, is determined by the Reps Council.
So, influencing. what is influencing? I got this from the Wikipedia. So, as you can see, influencing is a communication aimed at a certain group or certain people you want to talk about making a change. Yeah, that's shortly from my. So where you can influence, the collegiate body is the highest place where you can influence. Haaga-Helia internal board, so it's the board of management and.
So the collegiate, I don't know how to pronounce that word, is in Finnish kollegio, and that is pretty much the highest place that you can affect or influence within the school. It has the headmaster and multiple super important people from Haaga-Helia in it. The Haaga-Helia internal board is the board of Haaga-Helia, as it is a money-making company.
Yeah. Next where you can influence is the advisory board. There's many of them. We got a few new ones this year.
I think in total there are around 20 advisory boards.
Yeah. So I can't remember them all of them. Then there's the restaurant committee, examination committee, and the scholarship committee for degrees with tuition fees.
And these are all bodies or committees or boards that also have student representatives in it. So the Reps Council do choose these people as well. And in Collegio, the reign is for 1.5 years. In the Haaga-Helia internal board is 2 years, and the rest of them are 1 year jobs.
Next one is called a job meeting. That's Finnish ones because it doesn't translate well. It's the meeting with the management of the school and students. But there's no, not every student can attend it. It's for the student associations. So if you want to take a note to the job meeting, you have to talk to the board of associations. The job meetings are held quarterly. Yeah.
And then the other way to affect or influence, better to use that word, to influence the job meeting is to go to your UTU meeting, which is for every degree program or campus have their own UTU meeting. I think DGOT just had theirs. Yeah, they did have theirs yesterday. Today? Oh, yeah. Okay. But anyways, in UTU there are also student representatives. If it's in Haga, there's some, like the board, the chairperson of Pore, which is the local association, and then there's like 2 to 3 people, depending on how big of the degree program is from every class.
Isn't it called also a round table meeting?
Yeah, it's a round table meeting. Yeah.
And next one is E-party, and it's also held quarterly, as is the UTU meeting, and it has a different theme every time.
Yeah, and if you remember, Nelly talked about it in E-party before in her presentation.
Okay. The last party's theme was the upcoming elections. And then there's the contacts and networks. If you know somebody from the student associations or someone, so you can also talk to them so you can influence by them. And last but not least is the best way. The best way to influence is to give feedback, because if you don't give feedback, you can make a change.
Why should you influence?
Yeah. Because it is simply put, it's your responsibility and it also improves your equality, justice, and sustainability. And it also community grows bigger when everyone is part of it. You also grow your own experience, understanding, and networking. The networking stuff is very important. And the next is the grouping. Yeah, what is grouping? Grouping is a process that the tutor supports and guides with its own actions. So we are talking about the grouping of the freshmen or freshers. But remember, you can put a timetable to it, because every group has its own rhythm. It may take a few days for the new freshers to group, but it also can take a few weeks. Then the 4 stages of a group is the first one is forming, the second one is storming, next one is norming, and the last one is performing. So the forming, there's 2 sides. There's the group, and then there's you, the tutor. The group, the basic needs, they need to be accepted. There's not because they're new to each other. They don't have any roles or limits, so they have to find the roles and the limits.
Yeah, basically you might not think about yourself as like this influential person, but once a new student comes in, I mean, you all got remember your own tutors, obviously, that's why you're here, but I think you all can remember in what position that tutor was when you once the first time walked into the school, and how that affected your start, how the group started forming because of the tutor.
Yeah, and because people don't know each other, the interaction is formal and conventional and careful. But what you can do as a tutor, you can tune up the group and set the atmosphere of the group, and you also will make it possible to everyone get to know each other. And next one. The next one, the storming, and as the group's point of view, in the storming stage, your group's own spirit, it grows. There will be different personalities that will come up. There will be a lot of talking and less listening, but they will be forming their own hierarchy. There will be conflicts, and there will be small groups or cliques, or what you can call it. Yeah, that's the group side of the point of view. You as a tutor, you have to, sorry, you don't have to, but you can draw the lines and bring up the conflicts. But you can set a discussion about talking about difficult things. And the next stage. And from the group's point of view, the group's own actions will begin to stabilize. There will be common standards, and they will pursue unity. The cooperation between the group will develop positively. There probably will be no more conflicts or are doing.
How many of you have actually started in January this year? So you might recognize some of the parts that we're talking about here. First it was kind of like, oh, hey. And after that, like, Now I listen to him a bit more.
Yeah. But you, as a tutor, you can help them handle the feeling of separation, the feelings with the feelings of separation, and you can support the individuals and also support common interaction. Yeah. And the last stage, the group. Yeah. The group will be set to the final stage, so there will be a transparent atmosphere. There will be clear roles and relations. The communication will be open and flexible. The different opinions will be accepted, probably, not always. The feedback will be constructive. And well, in your case, because will be tutoring the English speaking, there will be diversity. So they will be using the diversity as a resource. But you, as the tutor, you will be sharing the leadership, and as I mentioned earlier, you will be supporting the communication, and you will be giving little more space to the group eventually, but you will be there for questions and hardships or something. Yeah. So.
Oh, there's a lovely pie up there as well.
Yeah. And the last slide. Remember to note these things. You can't belittle your own impact to the group because you will be their idol. And the new students will need to be welcomed by someone who knows the house rules. Because if you don't teach the rules, they won't behave by them. And it will be hard to teach the rules later. So, and the cohesion of the group will be also affected by the resources of the members, satisfaction of their needs, expectations, and the previous experiences about the groups, because there will be students that have earlier studied in universities or something. They have their own.
Well, if you think about me and Ville, you started in 2017 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've started at the same time. We study in Helga, but he's like over 10 years older than me. So we have completely different backgrounds. I mean, I have a work experience of 10 years, but you have a bit longer. So if we would have been in the same group, I mean, we don't study the same thing, but you know, those are the cases. In your class, you have younger people than I am, and in my group, I have older people than what you are.
Yeah.
So
I was the oldest in my group.
Yeah.
But not oldest in the
degree program.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nice correction.
But you are the oldest one in Helga at the moment.
Yeah. Don't blame yourself if your fresher group seems to be a little bit inactive or the group is separated, because it happens sometime. It's not your fault. There won't be yeah, the inactivity is pretty common. But if it goes that way, it goes that way. And lastly, you have to make sure that everyone has at least a small group they can belong to or be part of. Yeah. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Ville. So we're a bit before our schedule, but that doesn't really matter. Next up we have Susanna Malmi from the school telling you guys a little more about MyNet.
Siellä olla myös niinku jokaisessa tämmöisessä. Ja pitäisi siellä myös huomenna olla huomioon. Mut olitteko myös maanantai viikko? Voi ei, mä oon niin pahalla. Toi on 4 matula. Missä ne on? Voit sä chiikaa onks se Malmössä? Mitä vittua? Tiedätkö Ilona? Mikä?
Ois. Ois varmaan kiva.
Mikä ois kiva?
No, nimenomaan.
Ei nyt semmosia olla, Ilona, miten? Tai holla. Au! Onks se niin vaan kiva? Näistä. Se on hyvä näköinen.
Sanoitko kamera edelleen päällä?
Niin show.
Niin.
En mä sano, että se on.
Heitti tuossa äsken. Sano vaan sen. Varmaan kokoinen kun ne olikin. Kaikki ei. Porvoos.
Aika hassu. Onko sulla Porvoossa jotain frendejä? Vois niinku koodan niille kysyä, onks kaikki hyvin? Onks koodan? Onks sulla Ilona? No haluat sä koodaa niille ja kysyä?
Ei mulla sieltä tutusta.
Hei, who the fuck am I? Loppu ero. Olisiko pitänyt ottaa sen se? Mikä se näin nimi on? Mikä se nimi on? Eme. Niin. Jos mä olisin ottanut yhden, niin antaisin sulle sit saman. Olisiko ollut hyvä viime? Niin, se olisi saanut 2. Eikö se ole? Niin vaatii sun käytääks Ilona? Tupakki. No hei, se on hyvä juttu. Mä nyt onnettelisin sua kädessä, mutta mun käsi on ihan märkä, niin mä en halua.
Joo, mun nimi on tosiaan Susanna Malmi. Olen koulutuksen järjestämistä. Sorry. My name is Susanna Malmi. I'm from the Education Program Services, and I was asked to come here to talk to you a little bit about MyNet and about making your individual study plans in MyNet, but also if you have any other questions. I know more about the student register side of MyNet, which is basically under ISP and also in your calendar, so I can answer questions regarding those. I can first show you where you can find all the instructions. So they are under services and user instructions. And here, for example, you can find the making your individual study plan. Now this is something to finish. There we go. Okay, so the idea is that the student should make a study plan at the beginning of their studies already, preferably for the entire duration of their studies. Now there can also always be changes along the way, which is why students can send their ISPs for approval twice a year. But in case after the first time you don't make any changes, then you don't necessarily have to send it for approval more than once. The reason why it is important to make the study plan and also to send it for approval is because you cannot be accepted to a course after the first enrollment round unless the course is included in your study plan, which has also been approved by your academic advisor. And also another reason is because Haga-Helga can plan, or the degree programs can plan the study offering according to how students plan their studies. So the study plan is made here under ISP, which stands for Individual Study Plan. So the first thing you should do is check that you only have those studies in your individual study plan that you are planning to complete during your education. And in case you need to add any studies or remove studies from your ISP, you can do it under the Selecting Studies tab. Now students can only remove elective and free choice studies themselves by clicking on the trash can icon next to it. But if you would want to remove any compulsory courses from the ISP, you need to ask your academic advisor always to do that for you. And if you want to add any studies, for example free choice studies, you need to go to that specific study module under which you want to add the study. For example, if you wanted to add something here under business skills, you find the study module and then just click on the magnifying glass icon next to it, which opens the study search window. And here you can search for studies or even study modules according to their names or the code. And actually, have all of you done this whole ISP process at least once? Okay, so it's a familiar process for you already. And then once you have all the relevant courses in your ISP, you should also try to schedule this as well as possible. All students should have a default schedule already in their Minet, which is based on the curriculum of the degree program they're studying in. But you can make changes to it if necessary. For example, if you go to an exchange or you go to the army, for example, you can then schedule the studies according to that. So yeah, you should note that even though when you make the study plan, it does not constitute as enrollment for semester or an enrollment for courses. You still need to make both separately after you have made your study plan. And the enrollments are made, courses are made under the enrollments tab. And here our test student does not have any ongoing enrollments at the moment, but all the courses that the student has in their study plan will appear here when the enrollment period begins, and it will be flashing with the icon. But this does not recognize whether you have actually scheduled the study for that study period when the enrollment is ongoing. You have all the courses there. Do you have any questions regarding the whole ISP process or enrollments or anything? Yeah.
With the courses usually some of them are wrong, they're like tagged as compulsory. Will that be fixed anytime soon? Because quite difficult to remove them. You have to contact some other.
Yeah, that actually depends how the degree program has put the courses in the system. And it's a little bit different than with the previous program that we used to have, so that has caused some confusion. So hopefully that will clarify in the future. Yeah.
And then also, will there be a way for the students to organize theirs to move from module? Cause
No. Yeah. Sorry.
Question about the enrollment, since you have to essentially, first of all, make your ISP, where you have your courses, and then you have to separately enroll for them.
Yes.
But you said that when you go to the enrollments, they're not linked in any way. Like, wouldn't there be a good reason to just include, for example, the list from the enrollments of the courses you have in your ISP?
I mean, they are the courses that are in your ISP, but it's not linked to the scheduling, how you schedule. Like, let's say you schedule a course for spring 2020, but if that course has an implementation that has an ongoing enrollment at the moment, it will still appear.
Okay, so it won't display any like courses that you haven't included in your ISP?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So first you would need to go add them to your ISP and then they will appear. Anything else?
so when again is the deadline
For making the ISPs? That actually varies between degree programs, so you should get the information from your academic advisors on when the deadline is. In the future there's hopefully going to be one deadline for everyone, but at the moment the system is a bit under process still. Yeah, I haven't really prepared anything else. I was hoping you would have some more questions or anything regarding the study register or something you think the new students might be wondering about and you're not sure if you have the answer for them, or.
Could you quickly show how to apply for a re-examination?
Okay, let's see. Because I'm not really involved with the re-examinations, but I think it's a separate form at the moment that's somewhere in my net.
It's there.
It's, wait.
A few more down.
There,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, yeah, here. So you just, let's see, you're doing it for Pasila. Yeah, so it's an e-lomake form. And I think the library is in charge of this whole re-examination process at the moment. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can contact the library. Yeah.
Some of the questions that the students often ask is that since they don't know yet the timetables, the specific timetable, so it's quite difficult for them to schedule, to put them in the schedule. How do we answer those types of questions? Just arbitrarily put them wherever?
Yeah, I mean, usually there should be several different implementations for a course, especially if the groups are big. So the degree program should have planned it so that each student has a slot where to take each, especially compulsory implementation.
Because, for example, for Bright, sometimes there are, like if I want to take a course for example, for the software development path, and I also want to take a course for, say, infrastructure. So I want to take them both at the same semester, but I don't know, maybe they're overlapping. So that's where the confusion or the question of the students are. How do they know? Because they don't know yet the implementation schedule
Right, when they make
when they do this.
Yes.
So
well, they should just add both of them, yes, to the ISP. And then when they schedule them in the future, the degree program are able to see like which courses are popular during which semesters and when students are scheduling to take certain courses, so then they can offer them, they can make as many implementations as needed for the students. Yeah.
We basically have to add as much as we can in that
Yes, as long as they're courses that they are actually planning on completing during their studies. Yeah. So not to have 500 credits there and just then afterwards like decide which ones to take, but actually plan at least which courses or which paths they're going to take. Of course they can change them later on, but still there should be some kind of planning involved.
And then also most students also ask like, so since we can't move them in the modules ourselves, so how do we ask that from the advisor? Like I usually just tell them to put a note. Is that the
Yes, that's a good way, but also the academic advisors do that quite a bit, like without asking as well. When they check your ISPs, they move the courses.
It's quite difficult. For example, if I want a course to be in my professional study or in my free choice study or however.
Yeah, so then you can leave a note here next to this course. Just add a note and then you can write a message to the academic advisor. Yeah.
Can we go through Lukkarinami?
Sure. Anything specific or just in general?
Well, probably the most important for the students is then how to save in the settings their own schedule and not have to do it like every week separately.
Yeah. So that basically requires a login first.
You basically log in. You just save the link that says all the courses. It's not really building anything. You just append it to the schedule. You can. I follow.
So yeah, when you go to the settings, you just basically form your schedule first. You've selected here all the modules or all the courses, or then you've just saved your own study group's schedule in there, and then you just save it with a name. And then here you can see all the saved schedules. So I have two now, but this one is the one that I just saved, and then from here you can open it later.
But the thing that happened with me when I did that was it only goes until the week. And when you go the next week, you have to do it all over again. Yeah.
Really?
But then you're not, probably if you do it, at some point you have been logged out.
Yeah, probably.
Because it shouldn't do that. At least for me it does. And I just made it yesterday. I'm a cheater, hacker.
So you mean that you can only see one week and then when you go forward, it doesn't
Yeah,
show
when
anything
you go
anymore?
to the next week, then it has all the choices again, and not the ones that you have specifically.
It could be something to do with cookies. Because they can send some bit of data that when you click next week it will show you empty.
But it didn't show empty, it showed everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
So everything that the study
As
group
in
has, or?
everything that our study group has, yes, and not what I saved, the exact things that I have specifically.
You always have to go some settings.
Yeah.
But then you
I'll just get these on. Okay, so if I search for a study group, and then here you would select the, let's say this one, and then view schedule.
Yeah, and for example, on the 10 o'clock, you have 3 options, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, and then you put away the ones that you don't have. When you've done that for
You
the
mean you
whole
hide
week,
them?
yes. And
Okay.
then you go and save it.
But hiding doesn't do it.
Yeah, I think.
How do you do it?
You remove them from you cannot use this. If you want to remove something from there, you have to search for each and every one of the courses.
Yeah, I think you need to select them
You have to
individually.
search
I
each
think
and every
the
course.
hiding
This
does
is your
not.
blanket. And from there you take what you want. You cannot like adjust this.
You can try.
But those I thought also, I don't know who is the correct person to give feedback of this. One thing I have been like thinking of what those mean are those 4 students things in settings.
Sorry?
In the settings screen.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I got off rail for those 4 students. This.
You mean what do they mean? Like what? Okay.
Yeah, they are not like that, informative. Those where does the information come from? That is
true. Well, the reservations are
your
from from your calendar.
Calendar.
Yes.
Okay.
It should be. But I'm actually not sure if the connection works that well at the moment.
Well, it didn't work last autumn.
Did work?
Okay. Not for me.
Okay, okay. Yeah, this is what's, yeah.
Okay, but if you open up that schedule now that you have saved and you move it to next week, then it opens everything again.
Yeah, because when you hide reservations, it actually only hides the specific one reservation.
Yeah, so how can we save it into the settings that it doesn't bring up the hidden ones?
No, well then you would need to hide them from every week.
No, that's what I mean. Is
yeah.
there a setting that you can put so you can hide them forever?
We cannot unfortunately like do that, but we can definitely give feedback to the company that owns the system. So yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I did it the old way. Other monitor. All of the courses, other monitor, I started making my own.
Probably that's the workaround.
Yeah. Two browsers next to each other.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have anything open because we had the Excel
And then the Excel went away, and we didn't know anything until, was it December? When we got this Lukkarikone project.
Yeah. Any other questions about Lukkarikone or Mainet?
How do we again filter, what's the correct filter word for having the intensive week, summer, and virtual?
Yeah, so we can search by group ID, and for intensive weeks it's INT, and for summer it's, for example, next summer it's Kesä 2019, and then for virtual it's VIR. And then if you need to look for courses that are for exchange students, then it's the group ID.
Is there a list of those IDs easily accessible somewhere? Just have to remember them?
A list. They're in the user instructions as well. In Mainet. In Mainet you can find also instructions for Lukkarikone. Here. Yeah. So there should be.
Is there?
But like for bike, for example, or
no, we cannot.
There's no list of like for the study groups of different degree programs.
On the page, I still have like no idea what I'm looking at. Like where here exactly?
Here. Hold on. I don't remember by heart.
There is GCC. There, hold on. At the bottom.
Oh yeah, here.
But sometimes the INT, it doesn't really work, and it also includes, for example, if there's like international something, there is that. It's not just all intensive week, so it's quite confusing.
It should be if you search with the group ID.
Yeah, but
then
if you just.
But if there is another group ID that involves the word INT, then it. But there, yeah.
But there is also that intensity works now. That didn't work earlier.
Ah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that should work now. True.
With int, it didn't. It gave out.
Yeah, it is
whatever.
more accurate. So.
Yeah, that is good one.
Hankalaista on se, kunhan kaikki kysymykset tulee ylös. Pitäisikö se olla kameralla?
Do you know about Mainet? Will there ever be a search function?
Yeah, I don't know, unfortunately.
Can you give this point to someone?
Yeah, sure. I think it has been like put forward already.
Yeah,
it's probably under construction or.
Yeah, main page. But this is computer-oriented system, you know. It's in the interwebs. Yeah.
Ihan selvästi.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. Finnair on sen noussut sen se on siirtynyt kahteen Finnair on ollut siinä.
Yay, peeps. We made it! One more thing before you leave the room. I will give you these post-it notes, and we would highly appreciate if you could write feedback from the day one. And if you don't feel like giving feedback, put flowers or something nice in there. But let's hope that all of you learned something new today. And we'll have some constructive feedback for us so we can develop the trainings even further. Anyways, I'll come up with the post-it notes. Do you have your own pens with you? Good.
Mulla oli kieppaa, kun ne kuuli pääsivät
Can you share those?
Draw flowers.
Draw flowers. That's okay. Thank you. Mä voin ottaa.
Ei me tarvita. Ei meille edes anneta.
Meiltä ei kysytä. Kyllä te saatte, jos te haluatte.
Ei me tarvita.
Te voitte antaa meille palautetta niin kuin.
Iso auditori.
Ei lesson, mikä tää oli?
Evening training. Training. Tutor training.
And please mark there that you're giving feedback from the day one. So when we read them later on, we'll know which day we're talking about.
Sä et olisi ollut täällä 7 vuotta vasta. Tää? Sä et ollut täällä 7 vuotta.
7 vuotta.
Me ollaan.
Ei me ollaan 7:40, anteeksi, me ollaan 7:40.
Kiva, älä kysy.
Tulin vittu syömään puuroa.
Miksi vittu?
Se on koska kassalta alkaa tuntua.
Kuka vittu syö?
Anteeksi.
Niin.
Anteeksi, mitä vittua?
Se ei olisi ilmasta enää.
Niin ei olekaan, mutta silti se on aika hyvää. Siinä oli aurinkokukkasia mitä.
Aurinkokukkasia mitä?
Sä et syönyt missä.
Ei se syö enää. Mä oon sanonut, että jos syöt kerrankin vielä, niin...
Mitä tapahtuu? Mitä tapahtuu?
Mä lyön.
Ketä luo?
Sitä. Se syö enää puuroa.
Olisiko Morten? Kannattiinko ostaa lipun siihen, kun merkki on niinku...
Se merkki on tossa. Ja se merkki on myös tossa.
Niin. Saitko 3 merkkiä yhdessä maratonissa?
Joo. Mä oon niin kova suorittaja.
Vittu olet vastassa. Tää voi laittaa tuolta.
Mä kysyin, se näe koko ompeli. Korilla teippiä alle.
Laititko korilla teippiä alle?
Ei, se on ompeli. Niin ei tarvitse käydä teeksi.
If you could just pile the post-it notes to one big pile, and I'll gather them in a minute.
Miksi sulla on sinillä?
Vitsi, mä oon hyvin aloittanut. Mulla kysyy tätä.
Thank you.
No nyt sä rikoit.
Varas mä veli oot sä rikki. Joo. Ei tämä tarvitse mitään, sitä toimii ihan hyvin.
Mä astin tästä tuntia 3:04. Tai 1 varmaan ite.
Saadaanko me tutorille koulutuksesta merkkiä?
Passi.
Niin on.
Saadaanko mennä tutorpassi?
Huomenna.
Nää sä vielä näin.
Ei, siinä kävi semmonen juttu, että meillä on vaan suomenkielisiä mukana.
Niin, jos jotkut haluaa suomenkielisiä.
Eli
meillä ei edes ollut viime vuonna englanninkielisiä erikseen. Meillä on kaikki suomenkielisiä.
Nyt on. Nyt tänä vuonna on kaikki materiaalit englanniksi ja suomeksi. Vaikka se tuottaa vaikeuksia, ne on.
Vähän niinku tää opas oli viime vuonna. Semmoinen lehti ja semmoinen tän kokoinen. Se oli mitä 15 sivua, nyt se on 30 sivua A4.
Onko sulla se vielä vanha?
Before you leave, if you post anything in the social media of this afternoon training or during the camp, please use the hashtag Helga Tutor, so they will pop up in our Instagram page and Facebook page as well. Thank you for today. Please take all your belongings with you.
Sorry.
And see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Thank you.
Meiltä loppuu 5 noin haastattelut, nyt me aletaan ruokakuntoisin, niin ehkä 20 minuuttia. Tässä näkyy vielä ennen kauan. Paitsi että mä tajusin, että mä en voi tulla.
No, we have to set up the...
Mun pitää juoda se sit tälleen. Lame talk.